Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time we're on episode 14 of Season 4. Last time we had some big booms, some numerous, multiple, a collection of booms, because I've only written Shockley here, but his name was Tucker Shockley. Tucker Shockley, he tried to he tried to kill Nadir under the kind of assumption, and under the kind of strategic kind of assumption that she would be an Inhuman just because her brother was, but then inadvertently transformed into an Inhuman himself, and actually went through Terrigenesis, but then his Terrigenesis was literally blowing up and then reforming, so he ended up killing Nadir. So both the Nadirs are now one of them is dead, another one is still gestating a second time at the bottom of the ocean, so God knows what's going to happen to him. I mean, I keep bringing him up. I feel like they left it open ended because they kind of maybe planned to do something with him, but then didn't really get around to it. Because I feel like we're really never going to see him again. So it's like, oh, it's left open ended. You know, you can interpret it however you like. You can even make up your own stories about how you might return to the series and do with it what you will. But we're kind of moving forward because I think now getting rid of Nadir now is all kind of, I feel like it puts an end to that kind of familial storyline too. So she kills she kills her brother for being Inhuman, and then she gets killed by another Inhuman who is also a watchdog. Again, like that irony never escaped me. So that was like it wasn't necessarily explored either. No one in the show or in the episode actually touched upon the fact that Shockley himself, being an Inhuman, also being a watchdog, also turned into an Inhuman. But then it just didn't really come up in that fashion, but they still kind of explore it somewhat. So he's not dead either. Daisy actually blew him up a few times on that kind of runway, and then the final time she did it, Fitzsimmons came in with the car and the giant kind of intake fan powered vacuum, and they sucked him up. So now they're containing him in that. So he's, presumably his cells are still just kind of flying around in that little container, and he's just unable to reform. Or even if I think it looked like it could fit in like a normal human being. So even if he does try reform, then maybe they've built it so that he can't, even if he blows up, the container is strong enough to contain him. So then, I don't know how exactly it's meant to work. Maybe he's maybe if he's able to reform again, then they run the risk of him trying to blow up. So then that can still damage the container in some way. So maybe it's built in a way that he can't reform. So he blew up one last time, so now he's stuck just being like a clump of floating cells, just unable to reform and form a human body again. So either way, he's inhuman, and he did that. So there was that, and then while Fitzsimmons and Daisy were sorting out Shockley, Mace went up against Anton Ivanov and the rest of the Watchdogs. So he figured out his place on the team. He had a whole thing going on in the episode. He didn't really know what his place on the team was without the powers, and also because of the fact that he couldn't keep taking that serum without risking one of them giving him massive cardiac arrest and then killing him. So he couldn't do that. He couldn't really wear the suit, and Fitz had even redesigned the suit with an injector system, so he could actually just inject himself with the serum with the press of a button, which he still used to fight off the cars and everything, but didn't really work the way he planned it. And then in the end, they captured him too, which was I think give again, even Ivanov specifying that they've captured the Inhuman director of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a pretty big fish for them to actually catch. So now let's just hope that they maybe just marinate him instead of actually frying him. Yeah, they marinate him and then S.H.I.E.L.D. rescues him. No frying. So hopefully that's the path they go down. But they have Mace now, and also they have the director. So that alone is a big thing for them to have to grapple with. So I don't know exactly how. I think I'm expecting this episode to be predominantly a rescue mission, but then we also have the usual kind of S.H.I.E.L.D. drama and stuff going on too. So we'll see exactly where that leads us. But there was that, and then on the other end we had Mac and Coulson chasing down a lead that Fitz found on Agnes Kitsworth, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that she actually looked exactly like Ada, to the point where she was actually, played by Mallory Jansen too. And we in that episode we saw the pretty much like a further extension of Mallory Jansen's the incredible acting capabilities in her playing what was pretty much not necessarily a human counterpart, but the original kind of human inspiration for Ada. Agnes was the one that that Radcliffe was originally with, but then she had a brain tumor which was inoperable, so then he felt like, as a scientist, there was nothing for him to really fix there, or he couldn't really contribute anything of value. So then he got scared and he ran away, and then that left her to her own amends. And she got along fine. Like living out her final days in, I think it was Spain. She was in Spain, and she was an artist, so she was still drawing in Spain and doing some stuff. So she had blissfully and very willingly kind of left him in her past until Colson and Matt came along. So then they enlisted her aid in actually luring Radcliffe out so they could use him to get to May, but then he offered her the chance, a chance at a different kind of freedom. He offered to put her in the framework. So I believe he has used the Darkhold to actually perfect, I presume he's used the Darkhold in some way to perfect the framework, because it's now, I think it's newer than ever before. So according to him, May is still thriving, but then he gave her the chance, her body died almost as soon as she got into the framework, but then her actual mind was allowed to live on in it, so her consciousness can actually continue making new memories and living on like the life she wants, cancer free and or tumor free. I mean, I think a brain tumor is equivalent to cancer, I think. So like tumor free either way, and still like hanging up paintings and enjoying making more artwork and stuff. So now there are two inhabitants. In the framework. There's May, who I doubt she's still running the Bahrain thing, because I think too many no matter how much serotonin she'd get from saving the girl, I think too many of those would start to become a little bit suspicious. Okay, I've saved the girl a bunch of times now. I think at some point it's okay, now you've rectified that kind of trauma, but then what else what else does she wish that she could go back and fix? Bahrain was one thing and arguably the most definitive thing, but then there must be other stuff that she could actually go back and finish off or go back and fix. Not even specifying the ward finale fight in season 1, but still just stuff in general. Maybe something like Lash, maybe going back and saving Lash or saving Andrew, or something like maybe seeing how different. To be honest, I don't think she herself can pick the memories. I think it's it's very clearly been that that Radcliffe and Ada actually choose what memories she goes into, because then they need to keep her distracted. So yeah, I think maybe they have to actually comb through her memories, see what she feels remorseful about, see what she's afraid of, and see what she wants to spend the most time fixing or whatever. But either way, they claim she's thriving, so I guess we have to wait and see how true that actually is. But she is now in the framework with Agnes. Agnes is in us. Whether or not they crisscross is another conversation too. It's I think they probably wouldn't allow it to avoid any kind of deeper interaction, or to avoid May actually kind of finding a way out or being able to escape with through Agnes's kind of information. But I guess we'll have to wait and see exactly where that takes her. But she's in there with Agnes. So that's cool. And we had, I think we had a little bit of stuff an interesting character episode with Coulson. I feel, with him being somewhat more kind of recklessly persistent, which even Mac kind of acknowledged, him kind of initially taking the more kind of threatening or the more intimidating route with Agnes, and being I don't want to have to make you help us, but if push comes to shove, then I absolutely will. Instead of him it's only eventually that he actually uses compassion, and he actually tries to sympathize with her and tries to be more human. It's only eventually he gets to that point, but his initial roots are actually just being I've lost someone, and you're going to help me get her back, and things like that. So I think it's it's very easy to see the difference between not only just I think it's also the difference when it's not just May being gone, but him also having to deal with the fact that May's been gone a lot longer than he realized, and he's been all those times he could have been spent making happy memories and having happy conversations with May, with the real May. It's been with an LMD who believes she's the real May. So I think it's a very interesting progression of character for him too, that I think they're exploring pretty well. So I'm curious to see how much more of that we get before and I'm also curious to know if they actually do turn the LMD May back on at any point before they get the real May back, because I think it could be the only other route they have to actually finding May, if they can actually access the LMD May. But then maybe they have to turn around to do it, because it's what they did with Radcliffe before they burned him too. So Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess we will see. But that is pretty much all I've got from the last one. All I've got from episode 13, so on to episode 14. I am honestly loving how this season's going. This is honestly, season 4, just... I don't know if words can do justice. I mean, I feel like I'm not even at like the best parts here, because I think, it started off it's already had 2 different arcs so far. So I feel like it's I've yet to experience like the better stuff the season has to offer. So I'm not really in like the deep end just yet. I feel like it's how Agents of Shield always goes. Like the first 10 episodes are sure they're pretty damn great. They're pretty damn great. But then once you progress past like episode 10, anytime past episode 10, the episodes go deeper and deeper and deeper until you're in the ball pit, and then you're just waiting for a new season. So on to episode 14, on to the reaction for episode 14. And speaking of the reaction, you guys know this is coming. This one, as with all the reactions on YouTube itself, this one will just be the highlights and the best bits as per the fair use reactions. But any reactions that aren't included in this kind of final cut, you can catch those in the full length, and that is where you can watch the entire episode along with me, just getting a copy of the episode streaming from Disney Plus, and you can just sync it up and it'll be good to go, just the entire episode unedited along with me. And that reaction will be over on Patreon, and there will be a link in the comments and or the description that you can follow to get in with that, so that will be cool too. But yeah, on to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 14. Let's go. Oh! Did you just punch Daisy in the face? Oh, wait, where's the robot hand? He has no... How do they have him in the... This can't be the framework. They haven't captured him, have they? Damn, they're good. Whoa, they are good. Oh. Daisy's got kicks. Oh, Daisy got kicks. Yeah, this is the framework. This is the framework. How have they got Coulson in the framework? Oh, is it from S.H.I.E.L.D.? Oh, because they have the framework at S.H.I.E.L.D. too.
It's like the real thing.
Yeah, they have the framework at S.H.I.E.L.D.
Ada is on hand to ensure the transition goes smoothly.
I did not make an alliance with that.
Ada is my proxy. View her as an
A
extension
little
of
death
myself.
stare.
Everything will go according to plan.
For your sake, it is better.
Oh, please, like you could take Ada down. She'd knock you and your man on your asses in half a second. Phil Coulson, Field Agent level 4. Ah, back when he was just a level 4. No, a little fetus shield agent. Or a baby shield agent, Oh, May!
If that guy doesn't have a cat, he'd be really confused.
Oh, damn, May with the bangy side partings. Oh, I like that. Melinda May, specialist level 3. Oh, baby Philinda. Baby Philinda. Oh, my heart. No.
I have what some people refer to in certain parts of the world as game.
It's cute that you think that.
Aww. Damn, Philinda back in the day. Wait, was this pre-Bahrain too? This had to be pre-Bahrain, right? Yeah, that May is way too smiley to be the May we meet in the pilot.
Now you're the one they take orders from.
Duh.
Then I'm placing you under arrest in the name of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, you have a lot of jurisdiction here, don't you?
Power.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. See, this is the wow, this is the kind of situation where combat training would really come in handy.
What are you trying to say? That all this is my fault?
What I'm saying is if you didn't build a killer robot or a virtual world, this year would have been much easier for us. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality.
I'm trying to help people, man.
Yeah, Fitz had better intentions than Radcliffe ever did. He had better intentions.
You've got to think about the implications of what you create.
Electricity is used to execute criminals. Does that mean we also shouldn't use it to power our hospitals?
It's not the same thing, you know it.
There's always risks involved in science. That doesn't mean that we don't pursue it anyway.
You're one of the smartest people I know. I really hope you figure this one out.
You know how persuasive I can be.
I can't tell if they've actually digitally de-aged them or if it's just makeup and
Can you even say, please
hair.
open the door for me in Russian?
Yeah, because Coulson has younger hair and
But I do know a few choice words I have for you right now.
he has season 1 looking hair.
Don't worry, I'm good with my hands.
Not how I remember it.
Okay, here it comes. Never long before you bring that up.
You were undercover as my husband.
Right.
Oh.
And I knew we were on camera, so I had to sell that we were in
Oh, yeah, you sold it. Took over 2 minutes to unhook my bra.
It was an act for the camera. You know, I was being a gentleman. What, they don't cover foreplay at the Operations Academy?
Oh, Philinda foreplay. Oh, damn.
All the way.
Well, I'm I'm sorry you took it so personally. Spy life can be confusing sometimes, I know.
Did they reach a singularity? Did they ever have to pretend to reach a singularity?
I've got company.
Yeah, I love May's hair. I can't get over how good she looks with that hair too. Like her side parting is great, but then even the bangs.
Looks like SVR agents.
Yeah, is
Four of 'em.
really cute. Yeah. I love her really slow little side glances.
Even filth has a purpose.
What are your orders anyway? You here to back me up or to retrieve the 084?
My orders don't include telling you.
Ah, so just
What's your
like
clearance level now,
Stephen
anyway?
Widow
3.
in Winter Soldier.
Why, what level
Yeah.
are you?
Or Stephen
Mine's
Roman last week.
classified.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
If Radcliffe is using this much processing power, the framework reality could be massive.
Like
so
a
you can't track its
world.
origin?
Because Radcliffe did say Ada created a world.
How is all this even possible?
Because Radcliffe has the dark
He
code.
used the dark code to enhance it.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Do you have partner?
Yeah, she's not really a partner, more of a friend, co-worker, really. Though to be honest, I'm starting to feel some tension, sexual and otherwise. So I was actually thinking about taking a shot, but I'm afraid it could go south.
You Americans talk too much.
That's our greatest flaw.
They do.
Our unit has been made aware.
We're going to save them.
What if we can't? What if May suffers from permanent cognitive dysfunction or cerebral atrophy? Or she dies?
No,
Fitz.
Fitz,
We
you
don't know the
can't.
adverse effects this could have on her brain. Ada, the framework. My fingerprints are all over these murder weapons.
Just because someone uses your ideas for evil does not make it your fault for creating it in the first place. You make things from the genius of your mind and the goodness of your heart to help people. Don't let Radcliffe's actions corrupt that.
Yeah. You
are
had
not
good intentions
responsible
from the
for
beginning.
twisted things
He,
he's done.
you know, he
Wrongs have been committed.
abused it.
Now we make them right. Let's get to it already.
God, I'd love to see Fitz getting some kind of self-redemption for all the shit that's happened. And him just maybe beating the crap out of Radcliffe, I would not hesitate. I would not say no to that. I would not oppose that.
I believe in S.H.I.E.L.D. because for all its imperfections, it strives to do the right thing, to protect people. You claim to fight for others, for humanity. I think you lost yours a long time ago.
No.
And to answer your question, I do have one regret. That I don't have any superpowers of my own that I could use to kick your ass.
Oh, damn. Mace with some gustos.
It is a shame we find ourselves on opposite sides of the board in
Oh,
this
don't tell me
game.
we're actually gonna lose Mace. Don't tell me he's actually killing Mace.
They are less forgiving.
Oh, he has to fight Ivanov's men. Oh, shit. Oh, come on, use the chat. Use the chat. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, and Ada's really just consuming this? What kind of stuff is she into? She's just observing human behavior, but to what extent?
You're just another red shirt like so many others who tried unsuccessfully to stop me from saving the world. Because that's what I do. So, cool origin story, bro. But this means nothing to me.
Oh, they really pulled a cool story, bro. They really pulled a cool story, bro. Oh,
I've been waiting a long time for a face-to-face.
that's my girl. That's my girl. Yeah, you go get him, Daisy. You get him.
We have an Ada sighting on the lower levels of the base.
Ada. If you take Ada.
Do this, I'll find Ada.
Are you gonna go take on a killer android?
Shit. Can she ice her?
I'll take Davis.
Oh,
Only slightly late. Thanks.
he's only not the least bit insulted. Yeah, if you can ice her. If you can ice her. Oh my god. Oh. Simmons versus Ada. Come on, Mac attack. There we go. There we go. Oh, yes. He's like the Rock. He's like the Rock coming in to save Paul Walker. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh. Those cut deep. And now they got bad blood. Oh, yeah. Oh. 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 I can't do the knife flips. I can't do them.
You are a genetic cheater.
I'm not a cheater. Playing by the old rules.
That's a great line. Oh, there we go.
The game has changed.
Oh, jeez.
Ivanov's down. Where is everybody?
Daisy Johnson,
Anything?
No luck.
my heart and soul.
I've been running all over this.
Okay, well, it wasn't a complete loss. They got Mace, they got some tech. You know, it's better to come back even stronger for May than going in half-handed. Yeah.
It was disabled.
The LMD detector was disabled.
Recently.
The system was accessed by...
Phil Coulson. LMD. Who's the LMD?
Fitz.
LMD detected.
This has to be a mistake.
Wait. We were in there for a while. We were separated from them the whole time.
No, there's
Are you
another.
seen at the base?
There's another LMD. How many of them are LMDs? 4? They're all LMDs. They've taken Daisy. They're all LMDs. All 4 of them, even Mace. Because even Mace is in there.
The plan worked. We have replaced the top operatives at S.H.I.E.L.D. Now the next phase begins.
They've replaced the top
And you
operatives.
will be integral to that. Even filth.
Oh, damn. Ada.
This guy is really not my type.
Now we start asking questions.
Oh, yeah. He's a shrink.
Oh, Andrew. Andrew,
Let me
okay.
know if it goes horrible.
Oh, so this is when she first met
Here's
Andrew.
hoping.
Yeah. Oh. What's this? Oh, they've rescued the May LMD.
We've waited around forever.
Oh.
That's long enough.
Oh my god. Oh, that is terrifying. That is inherently terrifying. It's like a robot awakening. Robots awakening robots. So yeah, that was great. That was God, allergy detection. My nose, the shield has an LMD detector. My nose has an allergy detector. Detects whenever a sneeze might be incoming and warns me of that. No, I'm good. But no, yeah, no, that was a great episode. That was an absolutely great episode. And yeah, I want to start off right. I want to start off discussing the flashbacks, the old days, some time ago kind of flashbacks, and those were pleasantly surprising. I think they tied into the episode mainly with the kind of Ivanov stuff going on with the SVR and how he lost his men, but it still offered a ton of great character history that I never. Again, it's like. There's stuff that, like, you know, I think it's, and like, I've mentioned this before multiple times, but it's also, I think this isn't specifically stuff like any stories that they've mentioned, I don't think, but it's also, like, it feels more like character story that you kind of imagine, you think about, like, you know, oh, what must have Coulson and May's days been like in S.H.I.E.L.D. in the old days, like, what must have they gotten up to, like, what must have pre-Bahrain May have been like, because this had definitely, the way May was in those flashbacks, that definitely, there's no way that was post-Bahrain May, because I think it took me, like, for one thing, like, that personality, like there was a whole shift in personality, which, again, only speaks testaments to May's, to Ming's kind of acting abilities, but also, like, you know, just overall, like how she is, and also the fact that it actually took May a while to get back into field duty after she kind of, like, succumbed back into desk duty because of Bahrain, so definitely pre-Bahrain, but there was also baby Philinda. It was baby Philinda. I believe it was a level 4 Coulson and a level 3 specialist May. Level 4 Coulson and level 3 specialist May. So yeah, and then they were actually sent to pick up an 084. They were sent to pick up an 084 in Russia at the mining site, and I won't lie. As soon as he mentioned it was an 084, I was kind of curious. Oh, what could it be? Because I think the previous times they've kind of encountered 084s, it's been pretty substantial and pretty impactful. But I think the point of the 084 is that, you know, like, they only discover whether or not it's actually substantial based on, for one thing, based on the story, and also based on whatever it can do. So the 084s we've had in the past have been, but then it's like sometimes it literally lives up to its name in the most simplistic way possible. It doesn't mean anything special, it just literally means just an unidentified, like an object of unknown origin. That's all it is. It doesn't really do much. We just don't know where it came from. So sometimes it doesn't really have to be special. And he even said to Ivanov in this one, like, it was no like all I remember is that back then it was an 94. I honestly can't remember what it is, what it does, what it was meant to be. I don't know, but either way, but we had pre-Bahrain Philinda, and they are honestly just I also get such similar vibes to I'm gonna be using ship names in this. I mean, Philinda is a commonly known kind of like ship name for Phil and May, but then I think what I got, like the vibes I got, especially in that room, like outside the safe room, the vibes I got were so like eerily Romanogers, like like the flirt between them, like especially May reminiscing about that mission where they had to pretend to be a couple, and then Fulton Coulson fumbling around with the foreplay, like apparently like it took him it took him like longer than usual to unhook her bra. So like they had I think I don't know what kind of situation they'd be in where he'd have to he'd have to go that far with the foreplay where he'd actually be like undressing her. I don't know if they were actually already in their private space, in their own private space by that time, or what was happening. But even he even said I think he mentioned they were on camera or something, so they need to actually sell the thing. They need to sell the kind of performance of being a couple. So the foreplay between, I mean, yeah, and I think because of them, it gives off that kind of because I think we had a similar thing in Winter Soldier with Steve and Natasha, where like Steve thinking like a soldier, he was thinking tactically, and he was thinking about how best to take out the enemies, even if they're in a public space. But then Natasha's just put your arm around my back, put your arm around my shoulder, and that was something I said, make it really fine with me. And then even on the escalator thing, PDA makes people uncomfortable, so just kiss me and be done with it. And it's not like her being a spy; she's used to blending in and actually, putting on covers and stuff like that. So I think in this case though, it's I think it kind of works. It works more to that extent than being a soldier because Phil and May are both spies. I think even within Shield, I think there's varying levels of it too. Because I feel like May could be more of a spy than maybe Coulson. Like Coulson knows how to put on a good enough cover, to an extent. But then with May, she actively I feel like she'd be the one actively taking on more kind of personas and more roles and doing more undercover work and stuff. And I feel like even for agents, and especially for field agents too, there'd be that kind of thing going on too. You'd actively have to be good at actual spy stuff and stuff, like putting on personas, being knowledgeable, speaking multiple languages. Even Victor Coulson speaking Russian. I think I was kind of gushing and talking over a bit of that kind of quite a bit of that scene, so I didn't fully he was speaking. He was speaking Russian, and even the subtitles mentioned that he was actually speaking Russian. But then I didn't really focus in on it enough to actually try and monitor the accent or to see if it was actually accurate or something. But I think maybe it was passable and stuff. And especially if you're his native accent is American, so I think speaking any other language with the accent could also kind of be somewhat more difficult. But I think knowing Coulson too, I feel like maybe he might not do much undercover work unless it's with May too, unless he's on a mission with May. If he's on a mission alone, he might just do what he needs to do. But if he's on a mission with May, then he actually might be more comfortable doing other things as well. And especially the more Roman Rogers vibes came from Coulson asking what exactly her mission was, what her orders were, and her being my orders are not to tell you what my orders are. So similar to Steve and Natasha in the Winter Soldier, like Steve being a soldier, him having the mission to actually rescue the hostages on the Lemurian Star, but then Natasha having her own kind of secret spy style mission from Fury to back up the data and to actually not tell Fury and to not tell Roger so that he wouldn't be sidetracked or anything like that. So similar-ish vibes, but I think overall, I think especially friendship-wise too, because I think friendship is a stronger element there. But then obviously with Philinda, it's actually allowed to blossom into a relationship and stuff. Whereas with Steve and Natasha, it's actually just been maintained as an actual just like a friendship with just really really good chemistry. Doesn't stop the OTP. It doesn't stop the pairing, and it definitely does not stop the shippers or the fics from happening. But either way, I think that's just more power to people who actually do ship them more power. And I think with Steve and Natasha too in the comics. Like in the comics, in some of the animated mediums, like they are together. They are actively. I think there was even like an animated movie where the Avengers themselves had kids too. Like yeah, like I can't remember what. I think it was like Young Avengers or New Avengers or something. I think it was like I think it might have been young or New Avengers. Like the Avengers all kind of had kids with various members of their own team and other teams. Like I think Steve and Natasha had a son, I think called Jason and stuff, and he had an energy shield. He had an energy shield like Coulson, except he could throw it and actually have it back to him. So I think his name might have been Jason. I think Thor and Jane. I think no. I think it was it Thor and someone. I think had a daughter. I think I watched the movie once and it was like years and years ago. It was like I got into a lot more Avengers Marvel stuff after I watched the movie. I discovered a lot more Avengers stuff after I watched the first movie, and I think it was like that. The animated movie was one of the things I discovered. So I think that might have been one of them. But yeah, I think Thor and someone had a daughter, I believe, and then Black Panther and someone else had a daughter, and then I think Hawkeye had a son with someone, and then yeah, and then I think Vision was still around, and then I think Tony was an old man, and I think Hulk might have been an old man too. I think I'm not sure. I think it's been so long. I'm sure you guys must recognize the movie I'm talking about, but either way, I think I veered way off track there, but either way, like similar vibes, Roman Andres and Philinda. But overall, like it was a great kind of flashback, kind of like a great flashback kind of sequence that actually detailed like just one of their past missions together, and just again I love May, and I love May. I love May in general. I love Melinda May in general, but I especially love not how different May is in that, because I think the May we have now, as much kind of darkness she has in her ledger and in her mind, like she's still protective and she's still lovable and she's still wholesome at times. She's still a May that we can love. Like as dark as she's become, she's still a May that we could easily kind of fall in love with. But I think at the same time, it's like I think if you go back to season one, when Coulson is telling that story to Daisy, like he's actually telling Daisy the story about like what May used to be like before Bahrain. He's even telling her like, oh, she used to be a lot like you. She used to be a lot more like more kind of jolly and preppy and pranky, and she used to be a lot kind of like happier and more positive and. Like she used to be a lot brighter, like a lot brighter and like a lot more like a like a more carefree person than she was now. So I think that is the May we see. That is very clearly the May we see. And she even has like different kind of hair. Like it's still like parted and stuff. But it's like bangs to the side and everything. Like bangs, like nothing like this, but still bangs to the side and everything. And she looks great. And I can't help but wonder if they actually did. I think they could have saved money just by going with makeup and like some new hair. Because I think his hair, like Coulson's hair, like very reminiscent of season one Coulson hair, where it's there's a lot more to it and it's like lighter and browner and stuff. But then May's one is just like giving her a different hairstyle and then maybe some makeup and stuff. Because I mean, with the flashbacks, they tend to use like darker or more kind of grayish kind of filters to showcase this is taking place way back when. So I think that could help too. But I think they might be able to save money just by like not digitally de-aging a bit. I mean, even if they did, I think I definitely didn't notice this. I mean, I don't know if that could just be like a first time viewing thing, or if it's just like it's just that good you don't notice. Because I think his de-aging in Captain Marvel was really good. I think Fury's was more prominent because he was actually in the movie for the whole thing, but with the de-aging on Coulson was actually still really, really good too. So yes, I mean, but I think the thing here that is like it's not meant to be as far back, so they probably wouldn't need to. And he, I mean, like fairly enough to Clark, he's not really like he hasn't really aged that much for season 4 either. He is significantly older because of all the shit he's gone through, but he's not like older to the point where he's like a frail old man with a cane walking around chasing enemies and shit. Like he's still got some life left in him and everything. So, but yeah, so they look like an actual happy young like friendship couple in S.H.I.E.L.D., like working way back when, like just another case for Agents Coulson and May just working together, just having the time of their life, and having one of their usual casual kind of chemistry-filled conversations, and I think like even the dialogue between them is so much more different, and it's it's reminiscent of like a May and a Coulson who had an easier time dealing with Shield stuff, and before their buskets came along, and before Ward came along and ruined everything, and all these different things. Like it's so much more reminiscent of like a younger, more single, carefree kind of Phil and May, and I really like. I think it's less that I respect them for doing that, but more that I admire them for being able to go back and do that in the midst of all this, because they're bringing it back because it's having darker implications in the present day. So it's not just for the sake of, oh, let's just show off a great time between between Coulson and May on like an older case, but it's like, oh no, this case they did back then actually did have some implications for Ivanov in the future and in the present day. So there's actually a reason, and it's like that translation too, going from watching like Phil and May on on just another kind of Shield case, and then transitioning back to the future, where it's like, May's missing, Coulson is itching to find her, and he's got the help of his buskets now too. So yeah, I don't know. I think I was gonna say, would Mac count as a buskid, but no, he's nowhere near a kid. He's nowhere near a kid. I shouldn't know how old I think. Honestly, right, I think I would paint Mac anywhere between his 30s and 40s. I would paint Mac anywhere between his 30s and 40s, and like anywhere between 30 between 30 to 40, because I think he's already kind of like he already has tried out, like he already did kind of very, very briefly enter fatherhood with his ex, so he did kind of like reach that point a while back, and now he's gone through even more shit in the future. So I think I'd paint him anywhere between 30 to 40, but the buskets are canonically Daisy Fitzsimmons. They are the buskets. So yeah. So now like just dad and his kids and his, I think maybe his older kind of kid, because I think Mac is essentially the older brother. Mac is essentially the kind of like the older brother of the team. But then so technically like an equal, like in terms of maturity, equal to May and Coulson, but in terms of actual age, just like still he's one of the older buskids. So yeah, but yeah, so like just dad and the kids, and just trying to find mom. So yeah, and I think this kind of stuff could like provide some great inspiration for viewers to be creative and make their own stuff. So yeah, but I love them for giving that for us. I love them for giving that to us and actually providing us with some quality kind of age-old Philinda content. So, and yeah, honestly, right, until the begin, I think it was actually the opening scene of the episode. It was the opening scene of the episode. Until the beginning, I forgot that they still actually had like a copy of the framework and its equipment and its its execution at Shield 2. I forgot Fitz had his own copy of the framework, because he had been working, like that was what him and Radcliffe were originally working on, I believe, like the framework, and then he didn't actually know about Ada until he went to Radcliffe's house and saw her naked for the first time. So he had a copy of the framework. So I think his one, he said like that. I think that was more like simplified, so like a more simplified version, just for like training exercises and everything. And he used that. He demonstrated it on Simmons, actually her walking through the lab and everything. So yes, I was wondering, like, I think honestly, right? Yeah, I think my assumption at the beginning turned out to be true at the end. I thought because of because of Coulson's hand thing, like he usually has like those silver rings around his wrist to show that like his hand is actually robotic and it just plugs in and out and everything. So I was like, that was missing. And I thought, wait, is he an LMD now? Is that like one detail they forgot to include? Is he an LMD now? But no, him and Daisy were both in the VR. In the framework, doing a training session in the training room and everything, and it was going great. They were getting some good kicks and punches. And I think, like again, like not to shame neither Clark nor Phil, but I think even Coulson's moves in that seemed a little bit faster than he himself is used to. Like he is also like I think like without a doubt, due to his age and his physical age, he is actually like somewhat slower and a bit more like not as fast paced as the framework was making him out to be. So I think with his mind, he was able to actually think faster and actually fight faster, and then he was actually able to keep up with Daisy in some sense too. But then they were actually throwing kicks and punches and different martial arts combos that I never would have seen coming. So they were both putting each other through the paces until Daisy finally did like a high heeled kind of kick to his chest and sent him flying, and then he actually stopped in midair, Matrix style, and everything. But yeah, I think the conversation to get to. So I think, yeah, I mean, I want to go into this like saying that I'm not angry at Mac. I'm not in any way kind of angry at Mac. I think I think he himself he himself did not want to say or do anything that was trying to antagonize Fitz or trying to belittle him. Like Fitz is his friend. He trusts him and knows him as a deeply skilled and professional kind of scientist and engineer. So I think he himself knows that Fitz would never ever do anything to harm anyone intentionally. He would never like intentionally or knowingly create something that could actually hurt people or do more harm than good. But I think maybe just still the kind of the way he went about telling him that, like just insist like being somewhat more insistent than patient. Like he still kind of, and especially I think it's a clash of mentality too, because I think Mac still like from the beginning he's followed that kind of mentality of, oh, like robots are bad, like, and especially like sentient AI robots are bad and they need to be shut down and torn apart and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, I think like jokes about robot uprisings aside, like he does, I think he does kind of genuinely believe that like intelligence that kind of smart doesn't like shouldn't really be kept on, and Ada especially should not be kind of treated too lightly, or that she shouldn't be treated with too little caution, because then it gives her the advantage to rise up, and it gives those kinds of things the advantage to rise up. So yeah, so I think the way he maybe went about it could have been a little bit somewhat too kind of aggravating, or accusatory maybe a bit, and then Fitz kind of got aggravated, and then he actually, and I think Fitz's argument is just one of the reasons I agree with him. Like overall, I do still stand with like the way Fitz was doing, and I think again I don't completely disagree with the point Mac was making. Just the way he actually went about it seemed a bit too kind of like on the nose and accusatory, but I think Fitz still kind of had a great argument where he actually mentioned that electricity is used to kill criminals on death row, but then it's also actually still used to power hospitals too. So then like taking Mac's argument into account, then should we not be using electricity? Just because science can be used for bad doesn't mean it shouldn't be used at all. Like, you know, again, I think that's actually the same point I've kind of been making with the Darkhold too. Like the Darkhold is not inherent. Like, at least I personally believe like the Darkhold is not inherently bad. Can it even be not technology, because it's a book. It's not even like an ebook. It's like you can't get PDFs of the Darkhold. It's like, you know, I think it's not an inherently bad piece of information, or like it's not inherently bad resource. It's not inherently bad resource. It's like it's literally based on the person who reads it, and especially with a mind like Radcliffe's. Like he, not just with a mind like Radcliffe's, but with like an attitude and with a drive like Radcliffe's. Like Radcliffe went from being willing to help S.H.I.E.L.D. to then only using them to further his own agenda and actually creating his own. To actually furthering his own creations, and even using Fitz, even actually abusing Fitz's intellect and his cooperation to further his own agenda and everything, and then actually still making out like he cared about Fitz, and he still he appreciated Fitz, well, what Fitz's intellect could do for him and his project. He didn't actually kind of appreciate him as a scientist overall. So you know, I think the argument there still, like, I think it is pretty much just like this is like at least like the argument I believe in is the same as what Fitz believes in. You know, science itself is not like it comes with risks. It's dangerous. It can come with risks, and there are people who will exploit those risks for their own gain. But then science itself is not an inherently bad or dangerous thing. It just comes with risks, like almost anything in life. So, you know, and especially with stuff like LMDs, like the LMD program came long before Ada did. Like Ada was a creation of Radcliffe. Radcliffe was a man who took the LMD project, someone else's project, into his own hands, and then used his own knowledge and technology combined with Fitz's to create Ada and to create other LMDs and everything. So, you know, like the LMD project is not inherently bad. It can actually, like, its base function is actually very, very useful and is very helpful. But then I think I think especially in this kind of context, the implications mentality that Mac was actually mentioning is important in general. It's important in general, but then it's also like all the more important to consider it when other people come onto your project. So when you're involved with another person, and especially someone like Radcliffe, then you have to think about the implications. Which I feel in that case is more like hindsight. It's something that you can, especially the way that this season has been going so far. You can only really think about it once Radcliffe's betrayal and his kind of table flips have actually been revealed. So they seem like two more opposite ends of the spectrum too. Whereas with Fitz, he pushes himself forward with the good that he wants to do, with the implications being maybe like in the back of his head, okay, I'm going to try not to make that happen. But I'm going to focus on what I want to make this do, like what I want to make possible, and use that to drive him forward. But then with Mac, it's these things could go wrong, so I think it's best to actually just shut this down, as soon as we can, so that we don't actually prevent this kind of thing from edging closer and closer to the borderline until it actually becomes a reality. So yeah, and I think it's definitely got I think Mac and Fitz. I think this might not have been the greatest example of one, but I think it's they are. I would definitely like to believe that Mac and Fitz are capable of actually having a civil conversation about this like adults, because again, they are friends. They respect each other. They know that neither would actually insult or demean or belittle the other, or actually try and could tell the other no, you're wrong and you need to stop now. They would respect each other's voices, but maybe for another day. But I think either way, I think I think maybe for the sake of drama too, it intentionally went down this way, it was actually meant to actually bring out that kind of argumentative side in Fitz too. And I think the analogy he brought up seemed pretty accurate too, electricity being used to kill criminals on death row. And I think death row itself is a whole other kind of topic too to cover too. Like some people do disagree and others agree, and it's like a whole other thing. But then of course actually, I think that could be that I think that would be seen as the negative implications. But then the more positive thing would be it's used to power hospitals and medical equipment, and it's used to power homes, and it provides people with heat and things that people need to survive. So then, do you not use it just because it's used for this one darker thing, or do you just let it keep going because the actual it's used for more good, but then there's that one minor kind of darker kind of side to it too. So I think that. I think right now I'm too tired to actually think. my brain is a bit it's balancing too many different things from the episode to actually properly think about what other analogies can come into it. But if you guys have any ideas that would actually support Fitz's argument too, then I am more than I welcome them more than happily. Share your thoughts below. And I think also maybe who you agree with more. If you think Max should have been right, listened to from the start, or if you actually do side more with Fitz, maybe just a little bit. But yeah, I mean. And I think it's also I think it's also just an interesting in general way to look at it too. I think a lot of these interpretations too. Because I think the other interesting way to look at it is the fact that they are in a universe where problems like these have already been interpreted too. They live in a universe with Star Wars and Terminator and all these different sci-fi things, and they had like in previous episodes they have literally referenced and cited those kinds of sources to help support their argument. So it's partially I think partially it comes from those kinds of corners, from those kinds of angles to support more somewhat more comedic kind of aspects. But then when it comes to actual reality, like the reality they live in, even Mac mentioning that is the reality they live in, where the stuff that they do has consequences, and then they need to think about the implications of the technology and things that they create. So yeah, and I think for me that is where the Fitz having the best intentions comes in. Obviously someone can still I think obviously in Fitz's case it still kind of happens wherein it's a case of him inadvertently being involved in something that ends up going wrong despite having the best intentions. But then I think Fitz knowing knowing his history, knowing how much as well he might be more tempted to beat himself up, that would be his excuse to actually, and him even venting to Gemma too, being oh, what if we can't find the framework, what if we can't find May and Maze, what if May's already dead, and even him actually going down that whole kind of that whole kind of list of all the different kind of mental kind of the physical and mental issues you could have as a result of being in the framework too, like atrophy, and he mentioned something else too, like even him considering like all the after effects she could suffer from because of either having been in the framework at all or even having been in the framework this long, because the framework is the thing that kind of makes you want to like what can it do to the mind, like besides from what it provides for you, like it putting you into this reality, but then what can it actually do to the mind? Because the thing, what a machine, because it's basically VR, and then like even Fitz actually mentioned like the Oculus Rift, it's not the Oculus, it's not the Oculus Rift, but it's like, you know, it's like I guess like for us that would be the most comparable thing. Like I wonder like how if VR machines in general, like those kinds of like headsets produce any kind of radiation, like obviously overuse, but I think overuse, especially like that, I think that is the term that can be applied more to the framework. Because the thing with May and Agnes, they're being kept in. I mean, Agnes is dead now; she really just has no choice. But then May, she's intentionally being kept in because they need her sedated and distracted and all that kind of stuff. But then with Radcliffe, he has the freedom of, I mean, he prefers being in. He prefers being in because then like everything else could like it leaves more time, like less time to have to manage all the real life crap and everything. But then he still jumps in and out. You know, like he still has the freedom to jump in and out. So I think overuse would be the more kind of applicable kind of side effect and applicable concern. And I think it's the same thing for like headsets too. Like, and if you like, obviously like there's a limit. You can't really wear it all the time, and especially if you use it all the time too. Power consumption. I think I'm wondering if there is any actual threats like radiation or like any other kind of like energy release that can be really really harmful to the body, like to the eyes and the brain especially. And it's like, and I think it's also because like being under that kind of influence too, being under the influence of virtual reality, like it can probably change the way your brain processes information too. Because then when you're in VR, it's like, you know, I think it's meant to be, it's actually meant to make your brain process things differently than to when you're actually in real life. Because I think with the framework, despite the fact that your senses are the same, like, you know, like Colson even said, like, oh, he can smell the sweat, he can hear everything, and he can feel, and everything feels real, but then it's still in the brain. So it's like, I think with that, it's just like the senses, like the sensory like receivers in the brain being heightened or at least amplified to in some sense, to the fact that you can actually feel everything as if it were real. So I think maybe in that sense it makes your brain work even harder to actually make sure that your brain receives the information and processes it as if you're actually feeling the real thing. But then once you go back into real life, I think, because then I think if that's the case, then I wonder maybe if it would be like, you know, your brain can't tell the difference, so then maybe you then actually can't tell the difference, because then you're meant to treat it as different. Because then if you because then I think if your body's alive and you die in the framework, then you can still easily jump out of the framework. I feel like I think you can't really maybe fully or properly die. You just get like deactivated, but then you can actually go back into real life. But then the way you process threats, the way you process different kind of situations in the framework too, like you're like especially the one in Shield that they designed for trainees and for Shield agents, like you're meant to view those. You're meant to view the training aspect of it as, you know, oh, treat it as if it were the real thing. So if you die in the framework, then you die in real life. But then also don't pressure yourself. Don't actually push yourself to the point of like anxiety or whatever. Like, it's still a training situation, so you can actually loop the exercise as much as you want. You can keep trying until you've actually got it right. But then in real life, it's like, you know, oh, you can't really see it the same way. Like you're meant to process that one as real life, but then does the overuse of the framework then prevent that from happening? Does it actually prevent you from actually differentiating between the framework and the real world? Like, if you actually do super kick someone like Daisy did to Coulson, then, you know, like, they're not going to just freeze in midair because of the framework. If you do that in real life without realizing it, then they are actually going to break their back open on like a brick wall or something. So, you know, I wonder if those things. I mean, because I think that also could depend on the person too. Because I think May has spent. I think, despite how long May has spent within the framework, she has spent a significantly a significant portion of her life more outside of the framework and actually adapting to various real life situations, to various real life situations, to the point where she's actually mastered those. I think being in the framework is what is actually a struggle to we've seen, like, being in the framework and actually staying in the framework without realizing it's all fake is actually what's kind of troublesome to her. So that's why they actually had to switch up the various kind of scenarios they put her through, because she kept on finding a way out. So I think in May's case, then it might not be too much of a hassle. But I think that was the case though up until Bahrain. When it came to Bahrain, then she actually had no problems seeing it as real, because then that is then a memory she wants to rectify. So I think if they then keep on giving her those things that she wants to rectify, things she wants to redo, things she wants to change around and retry in some other way, or just memories she generally wants to revisit, then that might be easier, and then that might then enter her into the kind of overusing stage, like she keeps being fed all these different memories to the point where, okay, now she's been in the framework for really long, and now different effects like Fitz mentioned, and then other kind of overusage effects are coming into place too. So yeah, and I think those would be the risks with science if you create something that people end up abusing, but then like abusing not only themselves, but then abusing by using it, by overusing on others. Then those are implications that you need to take into effect. So again, like the kind of argument between Mac and Fitz wasn't completely unnecessary. It wasn't completely out of line, but I think yeah, like I said, the way he went about it maybe a bit too accusatory, and then of course I think maybe that alone kind of prompted Fitz to think about it in like a darker way, where he ended up blaming himself for it. So yeah, I don't know, but I think it's a scene kind of worth exploring, and a conversation worth exploring in like a much more peaceful and civil manner. So hopefully we do get that in the future, and hopefully we're not stuck with this where Mac kind of takes a more kind of harsher or more firm than fair kind of tone towards him, and then Fitz ends up blaming himself because he can't find them, and then he actually thinks about all the worst things that could happen. So hopefully we get something better. But I think I think having this in the first place does kind of make you want it to spawn into more peaceful and more easy to consume things. But either way, again, there's no inherent disrespect between any of them. There's no bad blood between them. They're still friends. They're still basically like brothers. So that much of that, I think knowing that definitely helps consume those kinds of scenes even more, knowing that he's not actually trying to belittle him. He wouldn't even ever try and actually make Fitz feel like that, but he is actually just trying to get him to understand exactly just how bad things really are. Not that he doesn't know, but still, we get it. So yeah, anyway, like in terms of that kind of topic and that kind of debate or conversation or whatever, feel free to share your thoughts, any kind of analogies you want to share, any thoughts you guys have, like where you stand, how you stand, and what your thoughts might be on the framework affecting May. Absolutely feel free to leave your comments. I would love to hear them. Your thoughts, that is. And yeah, then we had Ivanov keeping Mace locked up. So I think because he actually managed to get out of the chair and then get out of the door, I was wondering, is this kind of some kind of setup or trap? Because and then of course once he actually managed to beat Mace down and throw him back in, I was like, okay, this must be like, and then he was actually giving him a second chance. I thought, okay, this must be a test to try and make Mace get out using his own strength, because he also knew that Mace wasn't really inhuman. He kept on naming him. He kept on referring to him as the inhuman director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything, but he also referenced your power's running out and you might have used up the last of your strength. So and then he also mentioned like S.H.I.E.L.D. pumping him full of that stuff and everything. So I think despite calling him that, he does does know the truth that Mace isn't actually inhuman. He does take an injection. He's really just a human who takes like a low rent super serum and everything. So he knows that, and then I think that then made me think, oh, he's just reinforcing, because he did establish early on that he doesn't believe in humans have earned their power or their thing, and he even has like a story from his past about how his dad, who he actually saw as someone who worked hard to earn what he had, and then someone else who inherited their power and didn't really work hard for it. And then he shared that kind of story about how he lost admiration for his father when he saw him allying and actually talking it up with that kind of person. So he believes in power being earned and worked for instead of inherited. So then I think it's also like an interesting kind of play when he makes someone who's not inhuman but pretends to be put through those same bits. Because I think up until now I couldn't really imagine him doing that with someone like Mace. I think I couldn't really imagine him properly doing something like that with a human. But I think given his mentality towards inhumans, it's a lot easier to imagine him doing that with an actual inhuman, and maybe even actually doing it in a building or like a cell with power dampeners too, like putting in maybe lining the walls or the door with power dampening things, and then making them do it as like a regular human, like taking away their powers and then making them do it as like a regular human. So like similar, I think maybe like a darker version of the kind of the warrior trials in Black Panther, where they actually stripped T'Challa of the powers and then made him fight as a regular human, and then because that's how you prove you're worthy. It's how you, and it's like a similar thing with Stark too, like him having to actually think and fight without his suit, and I mean overall I think it's like the general test of a hero. It's happened to a bunch of different people over time. I think and it's the whole kind of origin story for Steve too. He fought without powers before he actually got the serum. So I think it's like when it comes to superheroism and superhero kind of, like strength, like the true test of strength and courage comes from when someone is either stripped of their powers or someone with no powers to begin with proves themselves and actually proves that they are worthy of these powers first. It's literally how they prove their worthiness, and it's literally what makes Steve worthy of Mjolnir. The fact that he would still be doing that shit, he would still try and go up against Thanos if he was pre-serum. And I mean, knowing Steve, I want to say yes and no, because I honestly don't know how pre-serum Steve would react to a giant purple dude with a fucking giant kind of space sword, like how he would actually react to that. But either way, I think it's literally what made Steve worthy, like the fact that he was more than just a bottle, like Tony said. So I think in terms of just like being a superhero, I think it's genuinely what proves being a superhero too, and I think especially also like. I think it's what made me appreciate the Daisy versus Ivanov fight even more. Because I feel like anyone else who doesn't really understand her or her powers, or even like the whole kind of the mentality behind being a superhero at all, I feel like anyone else, also anyone who is power hungry would have portrayed that in a way where she just quakes him up against the wall until he's unconscious or until he's thing. But then she actually they actively utilize more of her actual hand-to-hand combat training. Like she gets a knife stuck in her shoulder, but then she uses that against him. She actively dodges and bobs and weaves and punches and does some knife tricks of her own. Like her being her, she knows she is more than just her powers. Like she was actively trained as a shield agent before she became inhuman. She was actively and extensively trained by May both physically and mentally before she ever became inhuman. So she has years and miles of shield training ahead of her before she even actually learned how to use her powers. So I think it's one of the things that I love about her fight scenes too. I don't know how much of that is actually Chloe Bennett and how much of it is stunt double, or how often they use stunt doubles in this show. But either way, it's like for the character of Daisy itself, for the character of Daisy herself, it's such a great utilization and such a great display of her ferocity and her kind of skill as a fighter, that she's able to utilize both hand to hand and her powers. Even then, her hand to hand comes in like when she comes into close quarters. But then if she actually is in range and she finds that it's suitable to use her powers, then she's actually using her kind of quakes and everything. So yeah, but just watching her fight as well. Watching her fight, watching her handle herself, watching her hand that inhuman-hating dickbag's ass to himself is just poetic cinema. And especially the fact that she even mentions how long she spent she spent months actually breaking down banks, breaking down bridges, taking out watchdogs in her way, and she spent so long trying to find her way to the top of the watchdog kind of food chain to find the superior, the one who commands them all. And now she actively takes him out too, and he's out for the count. He is definitely out for the count. So yeah, she did it. She took out the leader of the watchdogs. I think the watchdogs are definitely not Hydra. Cut off one head, two more will not take its place. I think hopefully now with their leader gone, hopefully there is no second in command for them to answer from. So hopefully they do kind of disband or slowly dissipate, just like Hydra did. I mean, hopefully it takes less than 3 seasons, but hopefully soon now, yeah, they dissipate a lot quicker than Hydra did, and they actually just slink back into the shadows and back into their little online internet echo chambers and everything. So yeah, but Daisy Johnson, she did it. She handed the superior's ass to himself. She did it. She did it. Daisy Bell, Quake. She is a superhero for everyone. So yeah, And yeah, I mean, this episode kind of focused on how Ivanov himself had he had a bone to pick. He had a bone to pick with Coulson, him being the man behind the Shield, and him being the man behind Shield, the government, Mace even now, and Fury, and him being the man behind all of these different levels of power, but also him having his own kind of agenda of furthering alien stuff. And I think Ivanov definitely. Ivanov definitely having the same kind of mentality as Nadia, of like like alien stuff infecting the world and infecting the humans and creating the Inhumans and doing all these different things. So it's like it's definitely like I think it's like, you know, it's not exactly hard to acknowledge the fact that there are very like racist kind of, you know, like okay, like connotations, I guess, like connotations and vibes, like very racist connotations, vibes, like, oh, like these other invaders, like they see aliens as invaders, and then Inhumans themselves, Inhumans are humans who have latent alien DNA in them that is then awakened through pterogenesis. So then they see that as like they see that as like an alien plague passed down. So it's like, you know. I think it would make humans and like alien human hybrids. So then like, but then I think to the eyes of the watchdogs and Nadir and Ivanov, like, you know, like having even partial human DNA to them doesn't even matter. Like as long as they have even like a drop of Kree blood or Inhuman blood in them, like then like having any inhumanity in them makes them fully inhuman to them. Like not even half alien, half human, but still just fully like bad to them pretty much. So I think like again, I think throughout this season and throughout last season, I think like season 3 was when the Watchdogs were introduced. So like having this, I think the kind of like the racist connotations with these kinds of enemies and these kinds of antagonists are not exactly hard to miss. And like having it such a force of hatred and discrimination, like pushed against like a minority group like that. It's like I think the whole Inhuman fight thing is pretty much kind of reminiscent and I think inspired by the X-Men's kind of movement from the comics, like the X-Men being mutants and them being like, you know, like them having like the mutant kind of X gene in their DNA that gives them all these different kind of physical appearances and gives them all these different powers and everything. So it's very, very, very reminiscent of that kind of thing. I think it's meant to be because like this definitely did come out before Disney and Marvel had the rights to the X-Men in anyway, so I think it's definitely meant to be kind of reminiscent of that kind of movement, of that kind of story and that kind of symbolism. And I think what hits even harder is, I think, because like with the Watchdogs, you see that they recruit. The Watchdogs recruit, and it's like with the Watchdogs, they're like a cult. They are essentially like a cult, as with any kind of, you know, like any kind of discriminatory kind of movement in history and in the world, like with any kind of movement like that, like they are essentially a cult that like they actively recruit, and not just recruit, but it's like their recruitment process as well. It's not like it's not like they give people the freedom to join, like they do, but they give people the freedom to join in the darkest way possible. Like they actively prey on people's fears, any anxieties or concerns or like vulnerabilities people might have from suffering from alien attacks and from actually being like wary and cautious of all these alien stuff, all this alien stuff happening, all these kind of alien threats coming in, and especially the way the media kind of announces it too, like they prey on those vulnerabilities and on those concerns and they're like, you know, don't worry, we understand you, no one else will, we understand you, and trust us when we say these aliens and these Inhumans are nothing but threats that need to be eradicated, so join us and pick up arms and we can go hunt them down at the crack of dawn and everything. So the way they recruit is very, very kind of cultish and dangerous and like dark and like predatory and everything. And even with someone like Nadir being in power, like her being called in on the news and in the media, like her spreading her own kind of humans first movement around, which is very kind of like very kind of separatist and kind of like discriminatory, and like her having the power to spread those words and messages that just like further indoctrinates the people watching into thinking, oh, this kind of government official said this, that, and the other, so it must mean it's true. Like we have to vote for her, and we have to listen to her words, and we have to actually support this movement because things like she's in power, she knows, she must have all these experiences and everything. So it's like I think with the Watchdogs it's that one thing, but I feel like with the Watchdogs we've seen it happen in that way pretty kind of in pretty much like a baseline way, like that is the way that they do things at the baseline, but then once you get in it can be even more different. Like with the Watchdogs they can make you kill other Inhumans whether or not you know them, and you know, like they can even encourage you to kill Inhumans that you do know. Like if you tell them that someone you do know would be like a friend or a family member or like a neighbor is Inhuman, they can easily pressure you into killing them, be like, you know, you have to for the good of mankind, and you have to do this and that, and then maybe even goading you into further kind of terrorist attacks or robberies or whatever. So it's like that's what the Watchdogs do from the inside and the outside. But then Ivanov, I feel like Ivanov, him being the superior as well, like he has a whole other mentality that we've seen evolving over time. We've seen evolving. But then I think when it comes to Mace too, like I think with Mace it's different. I think with Mace, I think he acknowledges Mace's humanity and inhumanity in very, very different ways too. Like I think it's also the way that he treats Mace. Like he chastises him for pretending to be inhuman, and then he also kind of uses him actually being a regular human with little to no training and little to no actual strength to him to his advantage, like bringing all his men in to kick the crap out of him at the end of it. But then it's also, I think with him, it's also like because not only is he a regular human, but he also stands with Inhumans. For him, that is an even bigger sin. Like allying with Inhumans for Ivanov is an even bigger sin. Like you ally yourselves with those kinds of as he would refer to them, those kinds of beings and creatures and those kinds of monsters and everything. So, for him, it's like, like, and especially like that one line he said actually got to me too. Not only is he actually using Mace as bait, and he's actually got like a plan for him, and he's actually gonna take him out by the end of it. But then it's also like I'm not gonna let you go until you agree with me too. Like he's actually gonna try and change Mace's mind. Because Mace kept on saying he's Mace had some I think Mace is I think one of my favorite Mace lines from this episode would be the only thing he does regret is not actually having superpowers, so that he could kick Ivanov's ass once and for all. But then Mace is more steadfast and more kind of heartfelt lines with him actually standing with Inhumans, believing in Phil Coulson, and still kind of staying strong. Even in the midst of pain and interrogation and the threat of death too, he still stayed strong. He still stuck to his. I think that is what makes Mace a good man. He is actively fit. He doesn't really, and he never crumbles under pressure. He has looks of fear. He has fear for scared facial expressions from time to time, which is only natural. But then at the same time, it's he never lets his words fail him. He never actually. He can do this all day. He can do this all day. So he never falters, he never fails. He makes it clear he will always still stand with Inhumans. He believes in them. He believes in the good ones and their ability to stand out from the bad ones. And he believes in their right to freedom and freedom from persecution and everything. And I think definitely working with Shield has amplified that. Working with Shield, working with Daisy, seeing how good and steadfast and how strong of a warrior Daisy is, and how persistent she is on actually keeping up that fight and fighting with and for Shield too. Actually, that it reinforces that belief for him too. So I think surrounding himself with those people, but also I think generally deep down that he does kind of feel that way about all Americans too, all Americans, people of America, or people all over the world too. He believes they should have the freedom to be who they are without that fear of persecution. So I think that kind of reinforces him. Being strong enough to stand against forces of evil and forces of darkness and hatred and everything. So, and I think that is exactly. I think that actually made Ivanov's kind of line kind of hit even harder and hit even more. Him being not only, am I going to finish off what I'm gonna do with you, but by the end of this, I will make you agree with me. I will make you think the way I do, and actually I will make you fear and hate Inhumans the way I do. So it's when it comes to those people like that in that position of power, with that much wealth and those connections and those powers, and especially with the way that they could also just as easily be in positions of government too. It's those kinds of people are I think are rightfully even more feared too, because for them it's not just about a difference of opinion, but it's about about actually making people believe in the same things they do, and actually making people believe in and actually forcing people to have the same opinions they do, regardless of whether or not it's actually willful, regardless of whether or not you actually change someone's mind. It's about actually because I don't know if you actually would have settled for Mace just agreeing with him out of fear of death or something, if he actually would have actually settled for Mace's compliance out of fear of death or further suffering, or if he actually would have actually tested him to try and make him say really, really harmful things about Inhumans to make sure his mind was there, because I think that would be even further indoctrination. But yeah, I don't know, but either way, I think that whole kind of those scenes with Mace and Ivanov kind of really hit hard, and Mace solely kind of pushing himself to survive, but also solely relying on the Shield team still being able to find him and still being able to rescue him was actually really kind of really admirable to see him still staying strong in the face of constant harm and threat and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, props to Mace, and goodbye to Ivanov. Daisy took him out. Daisy took him down and out for the count at the end of the episode. So props to Mace, and goodbye to Ivanov. So yeah. Yeah, oh god, I think my heart was racing from when Simmons accounted for the lack of communication at the end when they're still in the base, and she took Davis with her to help track down Ada and take her. So I was fully anticipating some kind of fight between Simmons and Ada, with no idea of how that would go down. I was fully anticipating that, but then that didn't happen, and then luckily no one died either. So that was a plus. And I think in terms of the mission, I think it definitely feels a lot better with actually them going back with Mace and a handful of Radcliffe's kind of tech, as opposed to actually pushing even further half-handed and coming back with even less. I think coming back with at least half of it, and then going back even stronger and with a better understanding of what you're up against, is miles better. Even strategically, is miles better than actually going back. Just for the sake of risk alone. So so hopefully very, very soon they can actually go back with better knowledge and better tech and everything, and actually going back with them. I mean, I don't know if they would actually take Mace back with them or actually give him time to recover. I think the latter is probably more ideal, but either way they go back with having regrouped. But I mean, you'd think that, but now the situations have changed. So yeah, once they got back to Shield, I think once they go back to Shield, I think that they she even accounted more for the fact that there was actually time and space missing from Coulson taking out Coulson doing something, and then Daisy Daisy's blast, and there being a huge amount of time between Daisy's blast taking out Ivanov and then her actually showing up, and then Coulson and Mac rescuing Mace, and just blank space of time in between where there shouldn't be, and them actually do something. Again, I know we got a flashback for when May got taken, but I don't know if we're gonna get the same thing for them. But then I think the even bigger twist is the LMD detector was disabled by Coulson. The LMD detector was disabled by Coulson, and what he didn't want them to see was Before I get to who the LMDs actually are, I was so scared it was going to be Fitz. The way he was walking up to Gemma, and the way he was talking, the way he looked behind her, the way he, the way he was standing, the way he was paced, the way he was actually slowly walking up to her, I was so afraid he was the LMD and that he was going to knock her out or something. I was so afraid that our Fitz had been taken from us. I was so afraid that Fitz had been taken from us, and they had actually replaced him with an LMD. I was so afraid they'd actually gone down that route, because I don't know if I could actually deal with an LMD Fitz and them trying to get him, because I feel like that would be harder, because I feel like it would be somewhat more difficult for them to actually try and pass off an LMD Fitz as the real Fitz that Simmons knows and loves so genuinely and deeply. So I don't know how long that would last for. But either way, I was so afraid, because then I think in that case, I feel like Fitz himself would actually have to knock Simmons out and take her away, and maybe bring in an LMD Simmons too. I thought maybe even just replacing the real Fitz and Simmons with LMD versions, but I thought it would literally start off with Fitz being LMD, and I was so scared. My heart was pounding out my chest. I was like, okay, if you're gonna do something, don't freaking don't stall it, don't try and savor it, just do it and get it over and done with. Stop making me so anxious. But no, Fitz was not the LMD. Fitz is not the LMD. It's arguably worse than that. The LMDs, there's 4 of them. They even question, wait, how many have been replaced? How many of them are LMDs? And they actually sort of tap the thing to see how many LMDs. 4 LMDs, and there's only 4 people in that corridor. So Coulson has been replaced with an LMD. Mace has been replaced with an LMD. Mac has been replaced with an LMD, and they took her away from me. Daisy has been replaced with an LMD. Daisy Bell Johnson has been replaced with an LMD. Oh god, jeez, all four of them are LMDs. I honestly doubt they're gonna give us some kind of flashback or timeline as to when they got replaced. But I think I mean, Ada mentioned it in the post credit scene. Ada mentioned that the top operatives at Shield have been replaced with LMDs. They've been replaced, so I think Phase 1 is replacing the top operatives, and then Phase 2 maybe actually using their power to do whatever needs to be done to disable Shield, maybe to break down the framework so they can't track them anymore, they can't try. Maybe to get to Fitzsimmons so they can actually just replace the entire inner circle and everything. But I don't know, like this smells like 4 LMDs are four LMDs alone. That's a whole lot. But which four people within Shield? Like again, higher ranking operatives. The director is arguably one of his second or thirds in command, and then that second in command's partner, and then pretty much the only other Inhuman, because Yo-Yo isn't there, Elena isn't there, so the only other Inhuman actually working within Shield. So pretty much all of them being high operatives of Shield. Just them being replaced by LMDs. Just I can't. My brain is fried thinking about that. But do they have protocols and stuff in place to pass them off as the real human counterparts? And if so, to what extent do those protocols go? Like, do they believe that they are do they believe they are the same human counterparts, like in the same way that the LMD May does, or is LMD May going to be the only kind of human passing or human emulating one there? Like how far is that kind of is that facade actually going to run before they break cover and start beating the crap out of everyone around them and stuff? I don't know, but either way, I am scared. I am scared for Fitzsimmons. I am very scared for Fitzsimmons. As capable as they are, I don't know if they can actually take. And oh my god! I just realized. I just realized that we finally have a Mac LMD. I wonder if they're gonna do the Terminator thing with him. If they're actually gonna beat him down so hard, like half his skin goes missing, half his flesh is missing, so he actually looks like a Terminator. They gave me an LMD Mac. They gave an LMD Mac. So I think now we have all the more reason for Elena. Elena had better appear in the next episode. Elena had better appear in the next episode to help Fitzsimmons fight off Mac and the other LMDs. Like, I think she needs to be the one to take on Mac. She needs to be the one to take on Mac and actually beat him down so hard that he actually ends up looking like the Terminator, and then she can get in like a final killing shot where she actually ends up killing the Terminator. Like we need that. I need that. I need Elena killing LMD Mac Terminator style. I need that kind of scene in my life. But yeah, now we have an LMD Mac. I didn't think. No, God, to begin with, I was terrified, but now I just remembered. Oh wait, like if they actually try and take him down, he might just end up losing more and more flesh and like synthetic flesh and blood before he actually becomes like starts to look like a Terminator. But then it's like, oh wait, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to see. So we have an LMD Mac. So yeah, so only them. So not David, not Davis. Maybe Davis can actually have some kind of like an assisting hand in the next episode, but not Davis. So I think Davis is good. I think hopefully they're bringing Elena to help with this threat, but then Fitzsimmons too. Fitzsimmons, they're capable, but I don't know how well they can actually fare against enemies. Because again, if they break, if they actually if they give away that they know any one of them is an LMD, it's unlikely that they'd be able to actually emulate Daisy's Quake powers. So I think this one would be a Daisy that fights hand to hand. So then, again, like even then, even just with no powers, she's still physically more skilled than Fitz and Simmons are. But still, it's like I think you'd think that would be able to give them more of a fighting chance. Maybe if they actually tag team her, because then if it's just one of them, then she can easily overpower them and throw them against all of them. But then if it's like a tag team, but then I feel like if Fitzsimmons gives away that they know that any one of them is an LMD, then they alert the others, and then they close in on them and they take them out together, and then they bring in the Fitzsimmons LMDs too. So yeah, Ada has been busy creating all these other LMDs. She created a May LMD. She created a May LMD. She created a Daisy LMD, a Coulson LMD, a Mac LMD, and then I think maybe more recently, because of the position he was in, she created a Mace LMD as well. So she has been busy. Girl has been busy. She's just a freaking girl boss at this point. But yeah, Ada, and I think Ada as well. Ada in this episode was actually really badass to see, like, her actually, somewhat dissing like I don't know from start to finish, but even like getting the last words in at the end too, like like filth isn't meant like I think what was the line like I think I think like not all filth has a purpose or not all filth like lasts for long like something about filth and not really having a purpose or lasting for long. So like or like all filth has a purpose. I think all filth has a purpose. All filth has a purpose. I think he was referring to Mace, but then she at the end referred to him like you are filth compared to me. You are nothing compared to me. So like all filth has a purpose, and he served his. So yeah, so now moving past all the Superior and the Watchdog stuff, so now going straight into the LMD stuff. But yeah, damn, I don't know where they're gonna go with the LMD stuff. I really don't know. I don't know how far they're gonna go. But also I think in conjunction with that, I don't know how, like where they're gonna go. Like how far they might carry the facade before it breaks down, and then even then how far the actual LMD kind of versus human stuff is gonna go. But yeah, I don't know. It should be fun. It should be fun to watch, and watch it I will. So yeah. But yeah, I mean the framework is then it's really big. So I think I'm really curious as to how they're going to use the framework in the rest of the series. And like if we're going to go into it, see someone's kind of interpretation. If we're going to go back into Maze, or if we're going to have like someone else from the team going into it and seeing what their life is like seeing what they want to experience, or seeing what kind of life they want to live out, and then. I think maybe that could be what it's like for me. Like maybe Coulson has to go into the framework to rescue her, but then he goes into the world that she's in, and it's either a memory, or maybe it's even like giving May the life that she maybe wants, or maybe giving her a life that maybe giving her a future with Coulson, where Shield is still around, maybe, or like maybe they don't have to worry about the same threat, so maybe they can actually peacefully retire, or maybe they actually have like an easier time with missions, or whatever, like giving May a peaceful future with Coulson that she so badly wants, and then Coulson goes in and sees that, so then like he sees just how expansive the world is, where he can actually interact with it, but then he can also see May and everything. So I'm curious to see just how expansive, just how big, or like just how significant the framework could be for the characters, but also just how expansive it could be. Where it's like, can they still travel the world in the framework? Like in the real world, they still take the Zephyr and go to different kind of countries and everything. But then can they still do that in the framework? Can they still go to other things? I mean, with the framework, it's like like would it be like fast travel? They literally just kind of like they just like pick a location in their mind. And it's like, fast over here, okay. And there's like a loading screen and everything. And then they actually have to wait to kind of get to their location that way. But I don't know. I think even Mac and Fitz kind of even Mac saying like it doesn't really feel like a video game as much as it just feels like a really weird kind of mind trip and everything. And then Fitz kind of insisting that the framework, like Ada, is meant to be a tool used for good initially. But then things went wrong thanks to Radcliffe. So yeah. So I mean, I think the tool version of the framework is the Shield. That's the one that Fitz has been working on from day one. So that's the one that's actually true to its original purpose and true to its extent, and actually pretty much harmless. But then the more expansive and arguably more harmful and more dangerous one is in the hands of Radcliffe and Ada, and that's the one they're using to trap people and to do their evil bidding and their work and stuff. So yeah, I can only imagine how that stuff is actually going to go. So I do look forward to the framework. I really, really do look forward to just seeing how big the framework actually is and how much they actually do with it. So yeah. But yeah, that is it. That is pretty much all I have from this episode. So it was another great one. So I can't wait to see where they go forward with the framework stuff, with the LMD stuff, and how the LMD stuff goes down at S.H.I.E.L.D. and how they work on getting May back and all the other good stuff that happens. And as always, yeah, just comment your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the episode and what you think of the different kind of topics and conversations explored in this episode, and what your thoughts are and where you stand with various things, and as always, what you look forward to in the rest of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That is pretty much all I've got on this one. So that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, Episode 14. So, as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Once again, if you guys want to check it out, the full-length reaction for the episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So, I will see you guys next time.